What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our predictions for the Los Angeles Rams Arizona Cardinals wild card game. All that and much more coming your way right now. Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, we have a lot of great games in wildcard weekend, and honestly, none better than the Cardinals and Rams. These two were jockeying for position all season long when it came to the NFC West. Now they get to completely finish the series. It's 1-1, one apiece going into this game, and they are not going to pull any punches. The problem is both of these teams coming off of devastating losses to the other two NFC West teams. Nick, I want to get your thoughts on the Los Angeles Rams in this matchup. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we saw in Week 18, kind of how they can rectify it going against the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, there's a lot of good to talk about the Rams. There's kind of also a little bit of ugly to talk about as well. But starting off with the good, we see that Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp are the best quarterback wide receiver connection in the NFL right now. And it's because of that connection. They were the NFC West champions. They won that division over the Arizona Cardinals. And they've proven they can beat this team now at home in this playoff matchup. They're going to need that home field advantage because this is a very tough opponent. The Los Angeles Rams just got Cam Akers back. He's not going to be a big factor in this matchup. It's really going to still be up to Matthew Stafford getting the job done through the air. Can Sony Michel be the guy? He's had some really nice games this season. If he can get back to that, the Los Angeles Rams are a very dynamic team that are hard to get past. But if Matthew Stafford is locked in, he can really get the job done. Odell Beckham Jr. has that connection with him. They're not always looking for each other, but I think in the time of need, Matthew Stafford could find OBJ. They could get that possession catch. I really believe that it's going to be very hard for the Arizona Cardinals to stop Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr., to stop Sony Michel in the run game. There's a lot of versatility that Sean McVay is working with in this offense, and it's a lot to handle. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Leonard Floyd, Jalen Ramsey on that defense have been massive. What Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Von Miller are now doing in the pass rush is incredible. Leonard Floyd and Aaron Donald were amazing to begin with, but now Von Miller is finally coming into his own, and he's starting to get sacks on this defense. With them really firing up in this game, it's going to be tough for the Arizona Cardinals offense to really hold them off against Kyler Murray, who has struggled under a lot of pressure this season. The Los Angeles Rams know all too well how to stop Kyler Murray, and I think that this pass rush is going to be otherworldly for the Arizona offense to stop. I think this is going to be a big matchup nightmare for Arizona. To me, the Los Angeles Rams have a lot of defensive prowess that can get the job done, but it's going to be their run game that really hurts them. And James Conner on the other side, that is not a man I want to see, because this guy has looked incredible this season. And with Aaron Donald in the middle of the defensive line, he is a great pass rusher, but he's not a great run stuffer. And if this run game for Arizona gets going, it's going to be hard to stop. The pass rush won't be as strong. So the keys for the Los Angeles Rams really are to just stop the run, force Kyler into a lot of passing situations, and let your two outside linebackers really hit home, really put the pressure on him, because I know Jalen Ramsey or one of those edge rushers really will come up and make a big play when they need it most.
Yeah, I mean, well said. And honestly, the Arizona Cardinals have their hands full with that defensive line that you're talking about. But the Arizona Cardinals have seen this team. They understand exactly what they're going up against. They know what to expect, and they almost better than anybody else know and understand how to play and scheme against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Floyd. The only newcomer to that defense that you talk about is Von Miller. They've already seen him. They understand what he brings to this defense. Obviously, things can change, but not too much where they're not going to be able to game plan for him. So I think the Cardinals have a good task in front of them to really game plan against this defense. But you talked a little bit about the Cardinals offense. Kyler Murray, he's kind of struggled a bit since DeAndre Hopkins has been out. He has not looked the same. He cannot find wide receivers. And, everybody wants to point to the fact that he can't see over the defensive line. That is part of it. You can't take it away. Just looking any game film, any defensive lineman outside of Aaron Donald, who's short in and of his own right, is probably going to tower over Kyler Murray, and it makes it very difficult for him to throw. But he's athletic enough to get to the side and make plays with his feet. The problem is that none of these receivers are making off-schedule plays like DeAndre Hopkins does. You see Christian Kirk, you see AJ Green, you see all of these receivers that they have in Arizona, and they are running their routes, and that is it. They are giving up after the route is completed. They are not continuing on with the play where Kyler is expecting them to continue on doing their thing. The only player that's been able to do that, Zach Ertz, who they traded for from the Philadelphia Eagles. You know why? Because he's used to it. He had Carson Wentz for a few years. Now he has Jalen Hurts. He understands off-schedule plays. He understands how to get things done in a Doug Peterson system, which is kind of like Cliff Kingsbury's system. Off-schedule throws, the ability to move the pocket with the quarterback, so many versatility weapons on the offense. Zach Ertz understands it. These guys don't. But now we have DeAndre Hopkins coming back for this game, and that is going to be the biggest detail that we are missing from the Los Angeles Rams, because they haven't seen this guy in a long time. There's not a lot of film on this season on the offense that he is part of with AJ Green and Rondale Moore and all of these guys with it together. It's just not there. And now with Zach Ertz being the dynamic pass catcher that he is, the safety blanket for Kyler Murray, I expect that DeAndre Hopkins is going to bring this offense to a whole other level. On top of that, we have seen the resurgence of James Conner's career in Arizona, and he has been a really, really big spot for them in the running game. It's not always about the yards, but what he does in the trenches, what he does on the goal line. He is just an absolute power back. He is terrible to have to tackle time and time again. 15 carries for 52 yards against the Seattle Seahawks. Not all that great, but he did have the touchdown, and he just churned out yards. He churned out everything he needed to do, and he is a guy that they have to stop. He may not be number one priority like Kyler or DeAndre Hopkins, but he has to be on the radar. And if they let him go, he could easily run for $130, $150. It doesn't matter. This guy can do it all, and he has to be stopped. On the defensive side, though, they're getting J.J. Watt back. At least that's the plan. If J.J. Watt can go for this game, you're talking about a defensive line with him and Chandler Jones. Yeah, good luck. We're going to see Matthew Stafford crumble under this defensive line. They have struggled to get pass rush pressure ever since J.J. Watt has been out. They only got one sack against Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks, who have notably one of the worst offensive lines in the league. But if you bring J.J. Watt back, who are you double teaming? Chandler Jones? No. J.J. Watt? No. Good luck, because both of those guys can get pressure if you double or single team them. So at the end of the day, they are going to present a lot of problems. I like the versatility in their defense with Tahir Whitehead. You also have Isaiah Simmons and Zaven Collins, all these very athletic linebacker safety hybrids that can just pose a lot of problems in the middle of the field, which is where Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. like to work. I think that things are going to have to really stay on the outside if the Rams have a chance in this game.
Well, at the end of the day, I think that I'm going to be taking the Los Angeles Rams to come out on top in this matchup. To me, with the home crowd advantage and the Arizona Cardinals secondary not being good enough to stop Cooper Kupp or Odell Beckham Jr., I'm taking Matthew Stafford to get ahead of Kyler Murray in the Arizona Cardinals. To me, Kyler's going to fold under the pressure of Leonard Floyd and Von Miller coming from each end with Aaron Donald right up the middle. He's just going to lob the ball up to DeAndre Hopkins, and it's going to go right into Jalen Ramsey's lap. I don't have any faith in Kyler Murray to get the job done. I have little faith in Matthew Stafford, but it's a lot more faith than I have in Kyler. I'm taking Matthew Stafford to take the Rams over the top at home and get the job done, get their second victory over the Arizona Cardinals, and prove once again that they are the best team in the NFC West.
It's tough. You kind of hit the nail on the head. I don't trust Matthew Stafford, but I also don't trust Kyler Murray. I don't trust his lack of ability to find open receivers without having to make plays with his feet. I think Aaron Donald, Von Miller, these guys are playing very fundamentally sound. Leonard Floyd is a great guy to be a QB spy, and especially as Kyler gets closer to the line of scrimmage, he is just a towering monster. And as an outside linebacker, he's going to create problems in height and just width. His ability to be able to chase Kyler down is not something he's used to. I'm going to take the Rams as well. I think that they are going to easily take this one. I have them winning by a multi-score lead. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is one of those things that the Cardinals just cannot plan for. He has been a bright spot in the absence of Cooper Kupp in the last couple of weeks, and now it seems like Matthew Stafford's starting to trust him a little bit more. I trust the Rams offense more than I trust the Cardinals offense. I trust the Rams defense more than I trust the Cardinals defense, and because of that, I'm taking the Rams. All right, well, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of this game. Let us know who you think is going to win, the Arizona Cardinals or the Los Angeles Rams. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.